For some time during 2020, there was a period we couldn't go out onto the golf courses because they were closed. But 2021 promises to be a much better year, especially for those of us who do love the game of golf. And we're actually catching up with a professional golfer and coach these days. His name is Adrian Wickstein, and he joins us via Zoom. Where are you at the moment, Adrian?
In my house in Adelaide at the moment. So, right. Yeah, this has been the office for quite a bit of this year.
Which is your favourite course in Adelaide?
Oh, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Royal Adelaide to go and play. I've been heavily involved at the Glenelg Golf Club for over 10 years now working, and then the 10 years previous to that as a member there. So that's also up there. And then, yeah, we're pretty lucky for the courses in South Australia, that's for sure.
No doubt about that. There's some fantastic courses, the Grange and others, that not only look after the game, but have some terrific young golfers coming along. Now, you're joining us in 2021, and you're going to be creating a 5-minute, weekly coaching segment. Is it for the program? Yeah,
just add some bit of content and bit of an introduction and try and help people out with their golf games. It's a frustrating game, it's a challenging game, but the rewards are always there once you kind of crack the code a little bit and have a bit of an understanding of a bit more of the technical side, but also how to play, and that's the easiest way to lower the scores.
A great number of years ago when I first started playing, there was a guy called Billy Holder, who was the guy who was a legend at the Lakes Golf Club in Sydney, where I grew up, and he was the man that the great Gary Player would come and spend 2 weeks with to sharpen up his iron play before he went across to America to raid the American tournaments. And Billy Holder was fantastic, and I remember first time he saw me swing, he said, "Play a bit of cricket, do you, George?" I said, "As a matter of fact, I do." He says, "Opening batsman?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Explains a lot." And then it was about trying to work out some of those subtleties. So the good coaches have an ability, from the minute you take the club back, they can see technically what you do, what you're imposing on yourself, and just how hard or how easy you're making it to play the game, correct?
That's exactly right, yeah. Cricketers normally have a tendency to slice the ball. Yeah, the right-handers slice it out to the right.
I've actually learned how to draw the ball, and very occasionally under pressure can snap hook, but now it's a gentle draw, and that was something that I never imagined in my early days on the golf course. But to me, golf is a simple game that we make very, very hard. If you apply yourself and if you focus and if you care, then the game can become an absolute joy. But there are so many of us, we take in this info and then we paralyze ourselves with this super analysis. So can you promise that you can break down some of those barriers and help us get to the next level and become, instead of C-grade golfers, B-grade golfers, and ultimately A golfers and then some?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan for any golfer, is to always lower their scores. Most other sports that are bat and ball sports type thing, the ball's moving and it becomes more instinctive, whereas golf, you've got all that time standing over the top of the ball thinking about what tree or hazard or wherever it's going to go. So it's more of a mental game than a physical game, but obviously it has both components involved.
Look, I absolutely agree with you. It's a mental game. And if you can help us navigate that mental, trouble space, then you can improve our golf incredibly, Adrian. Tell me something. One of the things that I've learnt and I've watched is the technology improvements in golf. The game had, from when I first started playing, and that was nearly 100 years ago, or so it seems, the technology has gone through the roof. And it's not just the clubs. It's the balls, it's your shoes, it's your gloves, it's everything.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much money and research that goes into golf now, and I'm fortunate enough to use the best of the training environments and using the best equipment and all that, using the TrackMan, which monitors how far the ball's going and where the club's coming from. $40,000 unit just sits behind you while you hit your shots, and ones that measure your putting, ones that measure how much your wrist bends. It's easy to get too caught up in the technical side of it, but if it's diluted down and that sort of thing, it becomes a very strong learning tool. So
I've always been told, and I've discovered, that the best coaches are the ones that actually speak your language.
yeah.
Yeah? Do you love one-to-one stuff? Is that your opportunity?
Oh, sure.
Is that because that's your best opportunity to identify what I am doing or what I'm doing wrong, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Every human in the world is different, and
Yeah.
you got to work out what their walk of life is and where they've come from, and sort of analyse where it becomes a bit of a skill and a tool that you need to have, that you need to be able to read the person, what they like to see and what they like to hear, and the best way for them to gain the information.
And the other thing that I've discovered on my journey in life and golf is that even the great golfers need teachers. And it's not so much a teacher to play the game, but to reflect and analyse what they're doing wrong. I'm talking about the minute stuff. The great Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear, had a guy called Jack Grout who wasn't a champion golfer, but was fantastically good at being able to see what Jack was doing and then put him back on the straight. And the same thing with Billy Holder. Billy wasn't the golfer that Gary Player was, but my goodness, he certainly could break down his game and straighten it up, which is what we're hoping that Adrian Wickstein can do for us in 2021.
That sounds like a good plan. Well, a lot of the players I deal with and coach are far better players than I ever was. So, but everyone has their own little skills. So.
Mate, listen, thank you very much for the few minutes to talk about the game. I look forward to seeing the 5-minute contributions that you'll be adding to our programming next year. So each and every week, Adrian Wickstein will be telling us how to play golf and, in fact, how to improve our golf game. Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate it. All the best for the new year.
Thanks a lot. Looking forward to helping out and being involved.
Thank you, mate. Enjoy your golf.
Yeah, thank you. See ya.